Alright, so I gotta say, like, this whole idea of a kid whose name is Kid Chameleon before he goes into this, like, arcade machine doesn't really make sense. And then there's the fact that there's a boss in a VR thing who's defeating kids by winning the game, but he escaped from the game? Like, did he escape from the game and now he's in the real world defeating these kids? I don't understand any of this story. But, you know, stories from Sega Genesis games really isn't why you played them or listened to them or did anything with them. So, I guess we can just ignore that story part and get right into the stream. Hello! I'm the Chris who plays games. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Tonight we're playing a game called Kid Chameleon from the Sega Genesis era, where, as you can see in this little preview thing playing in the corner, we pick up helmets to turn into different characters. The story here is apparently that, you know, Kid Chameleon is able to go into the Wildside VR machine and defeat the boss. So we're gonna start out and do some of that. We're gonna start out here in Blue Lake Woods 1. Hello, Brad, Yugi, James, Mrs. Painstakingly Played, and anybody else who's out there. Welcome to the stream. Tonight's donations via Super Chat for Good go to the Innocence Project, a project to help get people out of wrongful convictions exonerating them using DNA evidence. So if you are interested in giving dollars, that's where they're gonna go tonight. Of course, you're never required or even asked to give dollars, but, you know, since I'm testing a new thing, I feel like I might as well hype it a little bit. And so yeah, we're gonna turn into this little climby, jumpy metal guy. You can see he's got 5 hit points instead of 3, or 2 rather, 2 that the Kid Chameleon has. So Kid Chameleon overall doesn't seem like he's very strong. He's only got 2 hit points. So it feels to me like maybe he's more like Kid Chameleon. Ooh, that's right, I said it. So these diamonds give me the ability to use diamond powers. Diamond powers are different for every character and allow you to do things like set a spinning set of diamonds around you and other things like that. Oh, it is not full screen. You are correct. Thank you very much for that. Let's do that. Yeah, I am playing the game now. You are correct. Go ahead and get this party started. There we go. Much better. Alrighty. Now we can see the game. So one problem with Mr. I have a weird metal head is that he just kind of bounces along the top of little blocks and breaks them, which is problematic. But for the first few levels, we're probably just going to kind of zoom through here and see what we can do. Not going to worry too much about having the perfect playthrough. Oi! Alright, yeah, whatever. So the nice thing about this guy is that he can climb things. Not all of them can climb things. Some of them can jump, some of them have swords, some of them are tanks. So you have all kinds here. There we go. These little teleport pads are teleport pads. That was a dumb statement, but it's true. So there's that. Alright, get out of here. Don't want any of that. Oh gosh! Get out of here. There we go. Now I'm Samurai Man. Every time you pick up a helmet, your life will reset to whatever amount of life the helmet you pick up has. So as I pointed out earlier, Mr. Metalhead Man has 3 health points. Mr. Samurai Man has 5 health points. Mr. Samurai Man has 3. The base character that you start as has 2, etc., etc. In this particular case, they're trying to show me how to use these various things. So this is going to be the Berserker helmet, and the Berserker helmet allows me to bash into walls. So those weird dots that kind of shot spikes out of them are an important aspect of the game. At some points, you will be forced to run against them, race them rather. Sometimes they're used to destroy walls, and so on, and so on. Yeah, exactly. So long as you can get to the next helmet, it doesn't matter how many hits you take. So I know, for example, that right here is going to be a Berserker helmet, so the fact that I took damage on those spikes does not really matter. The Black Knight always triumphs! No, he's got arms and legs, and we all know that the Black Knight has got no arms and no legs by the time he's done with him, so clearly it cannot be the Black Knight. But yeah, so these things here will shoot spikes. You can see that the 2 sides that have little black dots on them is the directions the spikes will go. So this will shoot left and then also shoot all the ones above it to cause the entire thing to go left. Like that. And those things become important later. At the moment, they're pretty simple, so let us climb. There we go. And back to Berserker. I don't know what's on the other side of these spikes. Probably just more spikes, but... Yeah, there's probably like a secret over there, but I'd have to take damage to get it, and I don't really care that much. I am not a completionist. Anyway, happy Monday, happy Monday. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend. I had a lovely weekend. I walked into the office this morning, and between the combination of the lovely weekend that I had with Mrs. CPG and the gorgeous weather that we had in Boston here this morning, where it was 70 degrees and slightly, you know, gray out all day, I was just feeling great. It was a great day for me. It was not as productive as work as I might have wanted to be, but you know, you can't win them all. And I did actually get a document written on what I was going to do. The problem is I sat down and I was like, okay, today I'm going to write some code. And then I like got to the, like, you know, sitting down and writing code part, and I was like, shit, I don't know what I want the code that I'm going to write to do. I have to think about this first. And as someone who's, you know, paid to computer program things, I didn't really want to do any thinking, but unfortunately that was the situation I was in. And so I had to, well, that was interesting. I did not know that was there. Alright. We will go ahead and trap this guy in here. Then we will hop up here. There we go. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but we'll see. We can get up to the top, and it feels like a bonus area of some kind, so... Go ahead and... I don't really care that much about the diamonds, because I don't really plan to use many of the diamond abilities, but maybe there's like a helmet up here or something. Yeah, it's not. Or if there is, I'm too lazy. Too lazy and impatient to do anything about it. So I think that this is going to shoot me up into the sky, so let's see. Yeah, so I sat down to write some code, and then realized that I didn't know what code I wanted to write, and if you don't know what code you want to write, sitting down to write code is the wrong step. So instead I backed off and I wrote a doc instead, and I shared the doc with my coworkers, and I have a meeting scheduled tomorrow to talk about what I wrote in the doc, and yeah, so that was at least somewhat productive. It just took longer than I had hoped to get there. So, as Jason Voorhees, aka Axeman, I can throw axes. Die, die! Oh, look, another hidden thing. I am looking kind of for, well, I guess I don't really actually need any of that, but, oh, no. Whoa! Oh, 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 okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess the other thing that I did not realize is that, if you take, oh cool, now I'm a tank. Alright, Juggernaut on the way! But yeah, if you take enough damage that you lose all of your life, you actually revert to Kid Chameleon, your base form. So you actually have like 2 more life points than it looks like you do, which is great. Because I just died because I didn't have enough, so clearly not enough always. Go ahead and wait for this fire to go away. But yeah, so today was a good day. This weekend was a great weekend. Mrs. CPG and I went and saw the Moulin Rouge musical that's currently playing in Boston before it heads off to Broadway. It finishes up here in Boston in a couple weeks, or in a week actually. It was terrific. As someone who was a big fan of the movie, the Moulin Rouge movie that was released back in 2001, I found that it was absolutely had plenty of nostalgia for me as someone who truly loved the movie, and I also think that it was a little bit more humorous than the original source material, and I think that that was the appropriate take, because I think that the original source material took itself a little bit too seriously. While I did not realize this in 2001 or 2002 when I saw it originally, in hindsight it became very obvious that the vapid nature of the movie is quite apparent, so... Sure, I don't know if that's the takeaway that I had, but I didn't think of the movie as being particularly not sex positive, although I definitely did think of it as not being feminist. But I also didn't think the musical was a lot more feminist. I guess perhaps it gave more agency to the character of Satine, who, you know, was clearly given the role of deciding her own fate a little bit more. There you go. And it was made clear why she would make the choices she did, because she, you know, had a little bit more of a sensible choice, in the sense of, like, you know, yeah, this is love, but this will actually get you, you know, a life that's going to work, and if you go the other route, then you're going to be kind of screwed on that route. So, hey, look at that, I went the right way. Oh, and that's so this is one of the interesting things. When you finish up the level, whatever's on screen goes to the, like, behind-the-scenes VR mode, and it's supposed to show you where all the blocks are. So in that case, I was able to see that there was, like, an invisible wall that I, you know, hadn't previously seen. Okay. Go ahead and bounce on your head, but it won't be effective. We'll go ahead and grab Swordman here. Okay. Another Swordman. No, it's not. Take Axeman instead. Kid Chamois. I was kind of curious where Kid Chamois came from. Alright, get out of here, lion. I ain't lying. You're bugging the shit out of me. Boom. Done and done. Okay, yeah, so that was my... And then we also got to, you know, a lot of the hot weather that we've been having in Boston finally broke. So it was almost pleasant this weekend, and it was pleasant today, and I love it. It is so nice to actually have a little bit of fall weather. Unfortunately, it's August, which means that it's going to be about 173 degrees in October or something ridiculous. But, well, this is bad. Yeah, so that was what I'm talking about with those spikes chasing after you when you're not careful. As you can see, because I stepped on that thing, they came at me, and I expect I'll have another wall of stuff coming back at me now. Yep. Ah, yes, we saw the musical production of Moulin Rouge, which is based on the original movie musical of Moulin Rouge from... Shit. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh, it's all over. Oh, just end my life now. Oh god. Okay, sorry. Excuse my melodrama. I blame Moulin Rouge. Yeah, so there's a musical production being done here. As I've commented, there's actually a review up on my blog, which I guess I should call Not Just Technical Ramblings. Where I talked about it, but some things that were different between the movie and the play, musical, whatever it's called. Duck here and let those go by. There we go. Harold Zidler plays more of the comic. Satine is given a little bit more agency in her decision making. You know, it is of course interesting that in the original movie musical, the character who is dying of tuberculosis sings her glorious aria immediately before dying, but of course, as Jess pointed out, that is the traditional way that operas work, so nothing too surprising there. Yeah, I saw that coming, but couldn't do anything about it. Keep running. Keep running. There we go. Did it! Yes! The stage was beautiful. It absolutely was. It was, like, the sets were gorgeous, the, oh, shoot. The sets were gorgeous, the, costumes were gorgeous. They were, you know, I feel like they really did, a magnificent number on producing it visually, in my opinion. And I am, like, in no way an experienced theater goer, but the theater reviewer for the Boston Globe also said that the sets were pretty good. So, it's not just me as the unimaginative theater goer. It was like a real thing. Alright, is this a berserker hat? It is. Otherwise that would be trapped in here. Go ahead and berserk you twice. Berserk you once, berserk you twice. Da 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 da. Done. YouTubers burn because of the algorithm. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, the costumes and choreography were overwhelming, but, you know, extremely colorful, bright, you know, fast-moving choreography from the very moment you walk into the show, which, again, all 100% in line with the original movie musical, which was very much the same way. Sort of a trial by fire when you start off the movie with a ton of quick cuts and backs and forths and whirling, dancing, can movements all across, which was maintained in the musical version. Yeah, you're gonna come back and get me. There we go. Okay, so here's my problem. I don't want to touch those things on the left, but I can touch these there. There we go. Oh, crap. Okay. Let's pretend that, you know, I didn't die. Oh, bummer. Oh, burned out. Yeah, overall, I mean, YouTubers do burn out. I think that YouTube... I mean, the reality is that one of the reasons that YouTubers burn out is because while there is not a whole lot different between YouTube as a material and, you know, modern high-end YouTube as a material and... Oh, I can fly or something. No? Oh, I can cling to walls. Okay, so I can wall jump. Wall jump here, wall jump there, wall jump everywhere. But yeah, so while YouTube is not all that dissimilar from traditional, you know, television media at this point, YouTubers don't have the production staff, they don't have the budgets to be able to take time off. You know, a traditional TV shoot might shoot for, you know, a couple months of a year, but a YouTuber has to do that same amount of work just all the time. They never get a chance to take off. Because if they do, there's nothing to fill that gap. And while YouTube channels are kind of like a weird cross between shows and television channels. People learn about them and they do things about them, but then they forget because, you know, why would you continue to remember those things forever? And so there's no opportunity for YouTubers to take a break and have someone else fill in the gap for them. All right, that's good. I mean, but this is the same, not just with YouTube, but with any, like, independent media production, right? Like, I know that my, you know, friend who does, you know, burlesque shows is, like, feels the same way at the end of a series of shows. Like, the only reason that, you know, she can do it and be happy with it is because it's not a full-time job. So when she finishes the end of a production, like, she's exhausted. And it's not like there's some magical approach to fix that. There's just like, you know, you either continue doing a thing you love that you can make money at, or you don't. There's not some other magical option, I don't think. Alright, so what do we got? I need like a berserker helmet or something. Shit. Well, I mean, Shane Dawson has the ability to rebuild his audience every time. I think that, you know, there are certain... So one... yes, you can absolutely have different types of audience that engage with this type of stuff, but for people who are producing, but Shane Dawson is producing a particular unique type of content that most YouTubers don't have the ability or skills to create. So it's not so much that like Shane Dawson has figured out a way to work around the algorithm, as Shane Dawson is creating highly shareable, you know, unique and interesting content, and most YouTubers aren't. And most creatives aren't. Like, most people are not creating things that are like the end-all be-all of like the set of content they're producing. You know, Shane has a particular style and a particular set of skills that he can apply. That doesn't mean that there's no way to make a living doing something else. It just means that you have to be willing to do it. Right, he doesn't have to take into account the algorithm. There is no... I'm not suggesting that he is or does. I am suggesting that he creates content that doesn't need, you know, YouTube's recommendation system to drive it. It's driven primarily by, you know, or can be driven at least primarily by social sharing, and his particular, you know, audience works well with that. I mean, other creators can't do the same because they're not creating interesting content. It's not. I don't mean to be like glib here, but Shane has a set of skills around creating interesting content that most creators don't have. I want that. I want to keep this because I need to get through that wall. I'm gonna be able to keep this though. I think that most creatives in general create content that depends on things they can't control. I think that that's what being a creative mostly is. I don't think that's a unique problem to YouTube. Yeah, this isn't about streams. This is about like a whole piece on YouTube content creation. Most people don't have the skill to do what Shane Dawson does. And that's not something that I think you need to worry about, like, changing your business model. If you found something that works for you, then great. But it will mean that at some point you'll burn out. That's just the reality of the world. God damn it. But yeah, I mean, when I look at, for example, you know, my favorite example of always is NoClip. NoClip is invested in creating this content that is pretty good, and they've found a way to create content that they're able to drive, you know, some revenue for. They're not getting rich, and if they were to disappear, I think that they would lose their, you know, patronage. The reason that they're able to continue doing what they do is because they have an audience that trusts them, and that's the only reason they can afford it. They can't make it on the money they make from YouTube, and a lot of these creators just don't have the type of content that will drive meaningful patronage. You know, I'm very appreciative of the, like, patronage that I have, but I know it's social and not because my content is, like, amazing or unique. It's because people value me and want to support me. Yeah, they're walking through, you know, behind-the-scenes how-to series, which is great. I've only watched the one about their gear so far. I've got the how to edit up next. I'm really interested in it, looking at it relative to the classes that I'm taking now at CCTV as well. I mean, let's just be clear. Like, streamers create boring content. Like, that's what they do. So at that point, you like, it's not about the algorithm. It's about, you don't do something that's all that interesting or unique, and you need to accept that and build a business model that accepts that. Now, your business model can be, I'm going to do this every day, or your business model can be, I'm going to find some other way to pay the bills. Both of those are fine, but you have to, you know, you have to choose one. And accept it. And sometimes you're able to find content that, you know, fills a niche. Oh, I can do that. Aha! How can I do that more? There we go. So like I said, you can look at engaging with your audience and creating an experience that can be monetized directly via support. I think NoClip has done this relatively well, but others have too. I think that if you look at Primitive Technology, despite never talking, does that. But at the same time, there are some people who don't want to monetize their audience like that. They feel like, you know, this is something that they want it to pay out of someone else's pocket and not out of their audience's pocket. And I think when that's the case, you know, you're gonna have a hard time in some of these cases. It can be very difficult to do that. Berserker 2, yeah. The nice thing about this is going to go ahead and hit these and then do all of that. There we go. Oh. I think being an attractive woman is a component of, I mean, everyone's got something special, right? I've got a hat, and I think that the reality is that there are plenty of attractive women out there who are not succeeding, just like there are plenty of, you know, men out there who are not succeeding. Given that the vast majority of successful streamers are male, I don't actually necessarily buy that, you know, there's actually a noticeable difference in gender here. I think that if you're talking about, you know, sorry, thinking. I think that there are some websites where, yes, women have a natural, you know, propensity for these things, but oh god, oh these things, oh geez. Okay, I need to get a different helmet. But yeah, I mean, if I look at Twitch, you know, something like 9 out of 10 of the people at the top of the, you know, the rankings by viewership are male. And since men have no like natural propensity for being better streamers, you would expect that reasonably the split should match. However, like, you know, you can pick whatever thing you think it should match, but I think that there's no evidence in that sense that you know, women are given some kind of natural inclination to be better off in this way. I mean, there are top streamers who are attractive women, but it's very rare. Pretty much every top streamer is a white guy with a beard. I mean, it was actually something that I looked at a little bit, because Mixer was the first platform I seriously looked at. Because, of course, if you look at YouTube, YouTube as a platform doesn't show, like, thumbnails of what's going on for every stream. This is the first time I actually looked at, like, what was going on for every stream was when I looked at Mixer. And so there's, like, these thumbnails, and every single one of the thumbnails is a guy with a beard. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, they're all white guys with beards. And I had to go 27 places until I found the first woman. Now, is that maybe evidence that women don't think that streaming is like a thing that they want to do? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that if you look at the fact that streaming is generally a place where you're putting yourself out on the internet in front of, you know, assholes, you basically, in order to be willing to continue streaming, once you reach a certain size, and that size can be very small, you have to be willing to put in a lot of effort. And if you're going to be putting in a lot of effort, you're going to be less abused if you're attractive. You're going to suffer less harassment of a particular type and more of another type. It is entirely possible that the reason that the perception is that, like, attractive women are better or are more likely to succeed at streaming has nothing to do with how good they are at streaming or how likely they are to succeed at streaming, and more with survival bias about the fact that everyone who isn't an attractive woman is harassed off the internet within moments of starting, and only, you know, attractive women are not sufficiently harassed to, you know, keep that. to keep it going. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass here, but the idea that attractive women attract more aggressive trolls and weirdos is something that I definitely think is a citation needed. I have seen a lot of trolls and weirdos in a lot of streams that are very small with women who are not, you know, traditionally attractive. I have a friend from work who streams, and I am a mod in her Twitch chat, not because, like, I am some great person, but because, you know, one time when no one else was around, she was just getting completely harassed, and it's terrible. He didn't ask to see our daughter's tits, he asked to see your tits again. It was just a lag that he asked while Julie was sitting down at the computer. No, I did not call my friend ugly. I called her not traditionally attractive. There's a difference. Yeah. Anyway, streamers are boring. Their content is boring. Mine included. And I appreciate that all you are here and hanging out with me anyway, and chatting, because it makes it funner. And Jess is gonna be like, ah, it's not funner, it's more fun, but she's wrong. It's funner. But yeah, if attractive women had it easy on on YouTube, then the platform would be full of them. Instead, what you see is most of the top gaming creators are men, and many women are harassed off the platform. I have no idea what Apple used to describe gaming on iPhones. Ow! Ow. But yeah, I think in general it's easier when you're, you know, attractive. I think that there's just a larger sample size from guys, and so there's lots of examples that you can look at and be like, oh, this person isn't attractive. It's like, yeah, well, you know what? You got 10 times as many people to pick from. There's gonna be some people who get through. I do hate unicorns, it's true. I do not support unicornism. Fuck you, platform. So the one thing that Kid Chameleon can do when he's in his default state is that he can do those somersault jumps. Because apparently he's just that great. Which is like, that's cool and all, but I'm not sure why that makes you the ultimate savior of, you know, VR land, so. He's not a chameleon, he's just a kid. He's a kid chameleon. But like, even before he played this game where he got to change into different things, they called him Kid Chameleon, and I'm still feeling a little bit upset about that. No, my comment was that extreme body modifications that involve, for example, adding extra body parts are pretty rare, and while there is a community of those types of body modifications, I think that they would not be the default that I would expect, even in the theoretical situation in which we were all sentient horses. And I will back that statement up. Ow. Oh. Well, luckily there's a Berserker helmet right here. Maybe. There we go. Don't want Jason helmet. Okay, it's time. Take time. You'll survive, Goth Teen. You're already a teenager, so you probably don't have many more years of school to go. Ah! God damn it. It's gonna teleport me back to the beginning of the level, isn't it? Aha! A climby thing. Your last year of school. See, it's not gonna be any problem at all. It's gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Senior slide, my friend. Senior slide. Speaking of which, we need to get our daughter to take the SAT tests. Anyway, yes, there are a few people who have the skill to do what Shane Dawson does. I think that it's great that he's been able to do, you know, a great thing. He's combined both the love of his audience and a set of relatively, you know, rare skills into something that is pretty marketable and socially shareable. And I think, you know, creating material which is socially shareable is absolutely the right way to build up an audience. If you look at other things you can look at are, you know, things like NoClip, look at Ahoy. I think this documentary, like, well done, effective documentary style is absolutely an approach. It's just not one that most people are interested in or want to do. That doesn't mean that you can't, you know, do YouTube and enjoy YouTube and get burned out on YouTube. It's all fine. Fuck! Yeah, I hate ContraPoints, so I can't I can't watch those videos, so I have no opinions on that approach. Good quality requires a lot of effort. That's all there is to it. I hate ContraPoints. I cannot stand the videos. I've tried to watch like 3 or 4 of them and I can't get through them. That's fine. We don't have to love the same things. AOL loves Elon Musk. I don't love Elon Musk. Although I don't know if he loves Elon Musk anymore. I didn't know you were back to streaming, Mike. It shows what I know. Nevik, not much. Yeah, NoClip has one style of content. It's all they do. I mean, I think, like, things that I look at are, like, you know, you suck at cooking. Like, that guy is good because, you know, he is lucky, or, I don't know, lucky. He's smart because he has created a set of content that is pretty cheap for him to produce. And so he can do it, and he's, you know, doing it on a schedule that hopefully mostly works for him, but he also is not doing it, he's doing it half as often as he used to. And, you know, has started doing sponsorship deals to try and make some of it work, and I would assume, given the amount that he uploads, that he's not making a living off of it. Just because I don't think that those videos are, they don't seem like they would take a month to make if that was all you were doing. So it seems more likely to me that that's like only a portion of what he does. Alright, I'm gonna stay here, I think. Jump over this, there we go. Stay here. Oh god. Lucifer's doing terrible. She is experiencing a lot of mental health problems, has had significant physical degradation of her ability to do things, which is making it so that she's basically unable to work or do much of anything else, and she's having a hard time finding a stable living situation. And unfortunately has, yeah. I don't know, she didn't say. I mean, as a sentient human, I am 100% capable of wearing a horn, and I choose not to because I think it would look kind of silly. I choose to wear a propeller hat instead. So, I think if I was a unicorn slash sentient horse, if I was a sentient horse, I would probably continue to wear a propeller hat instead of a horn. Rhinos are not fat unicorns, no, because rhinos will fuck you up, and unicorns are full of playfulness and light. So, official answer, no. I don't need to go that way. This way. Oh god. I agree that at some point rhinos will no longer be able to fuck you up if they keep going extinct. That's pretty much true of anything that goes extinct, is that it can't fuck you up after it goes extinct. Oh god! Oh yeah, he's totally the 80s cool kid. Ah! Damn it. So I am on a slippery platform. There we go. Ah! Aha! I've escaped you, platform. Oh shit! Okay, didn't get smushed. We're all good. Oh no! Fuck! Ah. I mean, to be fair, the original question asked if I was a unicorn, if I would wear a unicorn, if I was a sentient horse, if I would wear a unicorn on my head. So it's clear that perhaps the early morning coffee question asking, pre-early morning coffee question asking was suboptimal. I'm gonna go this way. Can I just do that? Like I can. Okay. Here. Okay, I'm past you. Oh fuck! Yes! Done. Hat spin. Whew. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things I'm enjoying with my current documentary filmmaking class is actually just spending a lot more time on working on composition. And it's interesting, like, now that I have spent a little bit of time thinking about it. Oh, okay, those spikes insta-kill me. Great, good to know. But yeah, now that I spent a little bit of time thinking about it, I just see the components of that everywhere. So one of the things that, of course, they teach you in photo classes and in my class in a filmmaking class is the idea of, like, the rule of thirds for framing. And I've taken photo classes. Like, I know in theory about the rule of thirds, which is the idea that you want to kind of divide your frame into thirds and have your points of interest along those lines. But I've never actually applied it. Not once have I, like, intentionally applied it to filmmaking or video recording. So I have, so having done that, it's like, oh, like, shit. Oh, that's interesting. How come those spikes don't insta-kill me? Whatever. Shit. This is gonna send me back to the beginning of the level. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Done. Fuck that giraffe. I am! Look at that! I'm on the third. But it's not intentional. I just turned my chair slightly. Why is there a Shamu walking on his hind legs here? That's what I want to know. Shamu, get out of here! But yeah, so we recorded, so I like set up a shot outside of the theater that we're working in. So one of the people in our class is a regular theater goer at the theater we're doing a documentary on. And I was, you know, so we were able to do an interview with him. And I took on the role of videographer. Another one of my classmates took on the role of director. And another one took on the role of interviewer. And it was you know, nice to be able to, for me, just focus on setting up the shot, like getting a good shot. You know, we set up a lavalier mic, so we got some nice mic'd audio. It's in even though it's in like a noisy spot, we've still got good audio to go with it. And just like little things like that I, you know, would never have had I have not really had, like, taken the opportunity to try these things. Have been really fun to like put into practice, and I'm really happy and excited and looking forward to how that product comes out. So Jess, he's talking about April the giraffe, who was the very popular YouTube streamer for a long time, who would routinely get 250,000 people watching her stand in a room because she was pregnant and going to do that. So is pregnant and going to do that. Pregnant and going to have a baby. And so they, you know, trying to present that aspect of things. Yeah, it's the zebra versus giraffe thing is a running joke. Jose and Brad routinely call the dancing zebra, a giraffe. I don't know how to get this purple hand off of me. Feels problematic. I also don't know where I'm supposed to go. There you go. Okay, I guess I can't bounce off the ceiling. Despite my desire to do so. I have a feeling this is not going to work at all, but whatever. We'll see it through to the end, which I'm sure will just be a dead end. Yep. Surfer man, does whatever a surfer man can. Ow. Done. Whew. Tainted love, I want to get away, I want to, but I know you don't really want any more from me to make things right. I need someone to hold you tight. But yes, there is a belief. No. I thought I used to have the... Yeah, there you go. There's a belief that that guy in the lower right corner should be called a giraffe by some members of the stream. They are incorrect. There is only one giraffe. She is April the giraffe, and she is terrible. Also, Brad, you said that the worst part of my streams was the giraffe, but I think you are clearly wrong. The worst part of my, or not, was the CPG, the rules of CPG. I think you're clearly wrong. The worst part of my stream, according to you, is the giraffe. You have routinely made that clear. And she works for a giraffe farming company. I don't know where this goes. Let's find out. Probably gonna send me back to the beginning of the level. Oh no, it's gonna send me here, wherever here is. Cool. You, I don't know what you are. Guess you're a thing that lets me fly. I mean, I don't think it'll matter if she does, because she works for a company that does not care about her comfort in any way whatsoever, nor do they compensate her other than with room and board for her performances. So, I don't think that April Giraffe's opinion is particularly relevant to her performance. Crap! Ah! Fuck! Anyway, yeah, so I would not be good at a Shane Dawson-style documentary because I don't want to show people at their worst. And I think that that is one of the things that makes Shane good at what he does, is that he's willing to do that. It's one of the reasons why I like the no-clip documentaries, because I feel like that they are intending to and actually taking interesting aspects of stories that don't have to be dramatized in order to be interesting. I think a lot of the interest in the lives of successful YouTube creators ends up being around the drama they've created. Hello, Celso. How is it going, my friend? Good to see you. We are currently losing badly at Kid Chameleon. I think beaching themselves on command sounds like a very natural orca behavior. All evidence that I have suggests that that is what orcas do primarily, so... Let's see if I can find some helmeting goodness here. There we go. Miss Barbara! How's it going? I would recommend... Ooh! I like this fly thing better. Let's be the fly. Wah wah wah! Ow. The fly only has 2 life points, so I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die today. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die as the fly today. Yes, we were just talking about the fact that the giraffe/zebra is back. Ah. Okay. Oh, seriously? I can't get in there even though I'm the fly? God damn it. Ah, squished. God damn it. Okay. He really isn't. I am very I thought that that fly was going to be my savior. I thought it was going to be perfection in a fly suit, but it's not. Oh god! Thank you very much, Barbara, for the donation. 100% of your donation tonight goes to the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project is a fund which helps to use DNA evidence to exonerate wrongfully imprisoned people. They have helped alleviate hundreds of years of...
Testing Testerson.
SD McTesterton. Hundreds of years of wrongful convictions have been exonerated thanks to the work of the Innocence Project. So thank you very much for that. You can find out more at their website, innocenceproject.something. Probably .org. That'd be my guess. Let's go ahead and sit on this. I mean, there was a link to the website when you opened the chat. We know that data for this charity, and it doesn't look like there's a link. It's like they're definitely. Hold on, I'm checking something real quick. Oh right, I forgot. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, we know it for this link, for this charity. So, yes, on the super chat for good, it should say it. Right where it says the Innocence Project. Anyway, yeah, so Super Chat for Good is a new feature that YouTube is testing. That's about all I know about it, but all of your money goes to the charity, and that's good. So give money to charity. Yeah! Haha! Success! I'm a successful magic man. I will defeat you wherever I can. I do not know which way to go, but I'm hoping this is better than the other way. God damn it. Give me a hat. Okay. I'm gonna take this even though I don't actually care about it because it gives me more life. Haha! Alright. So, let's see. I should be able to just walk through here, just bounce on these guys' head for a little bit. Got lightning bolts everywhere. Success. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the lightning comes from a storm cloud above my head, which is doing great damage to me, but I have succeeded. I am a winner. A winner is me. Yes. Okay. So to the notes for this evening. I guess Elon Musk was maybe tweeting while on LSD. This is like the last thing that I saw on Twitter before I started streaming, so I know very little more about it than that. Does anyone know what this is about? Has anyone heard about this? Because like I Google who tweeted on LSD, and the first hit is like a shitty website that claims it was Elon Musk. I don't know who Azalea Banks is, but I'm liking her. Anything that makes Elon Musk look bad, I'm a big fan of, because that guy's a douchebag. Hello, Stingray! Welcome, welcome. How was your trucking? Keep on trucking. I mean, I sacrificed chickens for fame as well. I don't blame her for that. You play that game, Mario. Well, that's awesome. I do too. Look at that. Oh gosh, why did you not die, you weird flappy green thing? Oh my god, the fires. Why are there fires? Also, where am I supposed to go? I think I've destroyed all of my paths to success. My only path to success is to become Shane Dawson. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Ah, god. Yeah. Okay, maybe this is the wrong way to go. Alright, maybe that was the wrong way to go, but whatever. Oh, anyone who is a supporter of Trump can't be trusted. They clearly have poor judgment, so... I mean, record contracts are sort of the work of the devil, so that's not neither a plus nor a minus in my book. I feel like maybe I should try going up, except the thing, I feel like I need that teleporter up to the left. I don't know how I'm gonna do that because it's kind of in a wall. Fuck! I'm boned. Go this way, see what I can find. Yeah, give me that fly power. There's a lot of paths through these levels. Like, overall, these levels seem to be freaking gigantic. Ow! God damn it. I mean, Elon Musk dropping acid and tweeting feels like pretty much what I'd expect from him, so... Is this just gonna kill me? No, it's not. There was, the last couple episodes of, 99% Invisible were about, fire stuff. Specifically about... Shit. Damn it. Mark! Yeah, Blaster Master is definitely a fuck this game. Let's go through here. Okay. Did not work so well. Fine. Fly time! Fly time! Look, this is Kid Chameleon in fly form. He's not really a fly. Ha-ha! Oh, I'm already a fly, but now I have more life, I guess. So that's fine. Woo! Oh god, that was like quicksand or something. I did it! But yeah, so in other Elon Musk news, last week he said that he planned to take Tesla private, because he was tired of getting bugged by investors about his quarterly whatevers or something. Now, there's a couple of problems with this. So, like, I would like to do this is one thing. That's maybe dubious, but whatever. Unfortunately, what he said was not just that, but also the words funding secured. Now, funding secured, you know, it's all of at the beginning of, like, every, like, investor call and everything you will ever see from a publicly traded company, they will always say, like, you know, this will or won't include forward-looking statements. You know, every statement is or is not a promise that we will achieve certain goals or do certain numbers or whatever. Elon Musk apparently didn't realize that there are reasons for saying things like that, and they have to do with, like, Securities and Exchange Commission not really liking it when you just decide to fuck with the price of your stock by, you know, making random announcements on Twitter that may or may not be backed up by fact. And so, you know, while he said funding secured, and basically what that would mean is that to investors is, you know, if you say you're going to buy all the shares at $420 a share, you should kind of expect that, you know, the share price will be worth $420 and you should act accordingly, and it's going to drive up the price. But if funding isn't secured, then that's like a false statement. about your financial system, about your stock, and generally lying in a forward-looking statement about your stock is kind of like a bad thing. I mean, Muskie doesn't seem to have any problem with it, but, you know, he's being sued by a group of investors who, admittedly, the investors who are suing him apparently were shorting the stock, and, you know, as a result of his comments, the price of stock went up, because it was like, he said, I'll buy it at a, you know, 20% premium, and guess what? If you offer to buy something at a 20% premium, it goes up. The giraffe is all the emotions, Jose. Just one emotion at a time. He's all the emotions. He reads books, he holds up stop signs, he does it all. Yeah, so, like, Mr. Muskie Musk, Mr., you know, I bet that British guy in Thailand is a pedophile. Mr. I can't believe you're not using my sub, being like, you know, funding secured was apparently a thing. Hi.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm shy.
If you're trying to talk to the people out there, you're gonna have to, like... Okay, I'm gonna change something anyway. That. Okay, maybe there.
What's that?
Just put on some pants, said Jose.
No pants.
No, he said pans.
Pants.
He says you have to put on pans. I don't know why you would put on pans, but that's what Jose wants you to do. Alright. Let's just, like, get out of here, Lightning. Ah! That's right. Ha! Oh, fuck you.
The zebra is pouting.
I believe you.
Look!
I believe you.
The zebra is pouting.
Yeah. And now he's hitting himself in the face. I believe you. He does, like I said, he goes through all the emotions. There's 30 minutes of that zebra doing zebra-ish things.
I'm pretty sure zebras don't pout.
I mean, zebras pout. Let's just be clear. Zebras go through all the emotions that humans go through, including pouting. The fact that they can't always represent it because they're usually on 4 limbs, like standing on 4 limbs instead of 2, doesn't mean that they don't experience emotions.
I don't doubt that they experience emotions, but they're not higher order animals.
I mean, that's something you can tell yourself if it makes you feel better, but... Fuck! This level is mean. It's a good thing I have infinite lives. Oh, that was... Ah! My spinny hat is spinning.
Right, they were saying that you're acting out your emotions as done by spinny hat.
Yep.
So I'm making these really pathetic attempts at turning and it doesn't work. Yeah, see? Exactly. It's like really depressed.
It's really depressed. Well, yeah, it's because it's not my good spinny hat. But my good spinny hat has red and orange right next to each other in the front, and they don't distinguish each other very well in the camera view, so I don't wear it on streams.
Why did you use the spinny hat?
Well, because I bought one and then I realized that it wasn't good because the red and the orange were right next to each other, so it didn't look very good on streams.
You know, most people would just realize that that was an indicator not to wear a rainbow beanie.
Ah, yes, but here's the problem. When I'm not wearing a rainbow beanie, it means that people ask me why I'm not wearing a rainbow beanie, and that's not...
Because you've been told not to.
Right, well, no, I wasn't told not to. I was told not to wear my Google hat. That doesn't mean I can't wear a rainbow beanie.
We also have Juliisms in this household, but they're different than your Juliisms, I expect, Mike.
Okay, so that lightning cloud is going to shoot things at me.
Everyone wants to shoot things at you.
Damn it. Ah! Hunger for I can't pronounce that word. Reclitance. Okay, I can pronounce that word. Hello, Gaming Lawyer! Welcome to the stream. For those of you who don't know, Gaming Lawyer is awesome.
Are you going to trigger the video?
No. So Gaming Lawyer, I went ahead and I did use my level 110 character boost and set myself up next to the Battle of Lordaeron for the WoW stream on Friday, so.
You don't need me, do you?
For what?
Anything.
I don't need you at the moment.
Okay.
Should I?
I don't know. Do you normally like me?
I like you, but liking you is not the same as like needing you here. I feel like I went out to dinner with you and we chatted at dinner. I also have a level boost from Legion. Is Legion level 100? I have a level 100 boost that I never used. And then I got my 110 boost just now. I did not do the quest line, Jose. That's where I'm going to start on I hope that's where I'm going to start on Friday. Is with the battle for Lordaeron. Fuck, that's ice. Oh, the quest line ends today? Well, that's a shame. I thought that it was gonna... What I read said that you had to finish it before you could do the battle for Azeroth.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so the expansion comes out tomorrow, but I think that the scenario and everything that you have to go through, you're not gonna be able to phase into that content until you finish the Battle of Lordaeron. This is one of the things that they can do with the new phasing stuff that they couldn't do before.
Is Blizzard planning to release the World of Warcraft?
No, it's not. Sure, the mount isn't available after today, but that doesn't mean that the questline goes away. They typically release, like, the mount stuff goes away once it's no longer current, but that doesn't mean the content goes away.
Mike, would you prefer a wife like Chris has that corrects your grammar and spelling?
I don't know if he's going to be able to hear your question. That was part of my point of, like, if you want to talk, you would have to tell me so I could do something different.
Do something different.
Okay.
Mike, would you prefer to have a wife that corrects your grammar and spelling and word choice the way that I do to Chris? Maybe that block has a helmet that will help you not slip on the ice.
Maybe.
You're right, that's a good idea. Let's just say you don't think we should do it this way. Oh, this is going to be kind of... I mean, I know that you're cheating, but I mean, a different kind of cheat.
Oh, yeah, so the question you asked was, would you like to have a wife that corrects your spelling and grammar like you do? Is that the question?
I guess Gaming Lawyer secretly wishes that his wife was more like Tolkien.
You think Gaming Lawyer secretly wishes that his wife was more like Tolkien? Hello, Van Helsing! Welcome to the stream! Alright, what do we got? We got a green thing bouncing. And I am a flying man. I am the great flying man! Oh god.
If we don't get mad at you for not being psychic, that would be spoiling you.
So she says if we don't get mad at you for not being psychic, that would spoil you. I have no idea what's actually audible or not. Oh god damn it! I'm dead! Oh no! Okay, I'm alive.
I'm not dying.
I'm trying not dying. It's not working well. Okay, I have to keep my flying. If I don't keep my flying, it's all over.
Brad, you're saying that if you had a woman around, you would want to stream with her? Is that what the kids call it these days?
No, I don't think streaming is what they call it these days. That's not a thing. So one thing that's interesting about my documentary class is that I've learned that I think I like the idea of having...
Thank you, Gammy Moyer.
I think 3 people is the appropriate number of people for a project, for a small project. So I was talking earlier about the fact that, you know, one of us was the... What?
I was just coughing.
Okay.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Sure. Touching the spikes is perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. There we go. Through the spikes. Okay. Killed whoever that is. And done. Jess is allowed to cough. The fact that I don't know what's going on is my own problem.
I'm not feeling great, so I'll excuse myself.
I love you.
You're wonderful and amazing and very sweet, and it is a lovely day with you, my lord.
Mwah. See you later.
Yo.
That's... Should have coughed during dinner. God, why couldn't you just take care of that then? She's slipping you off. Or me.
No,
I'm not sure. I was reciting what someone else said.
Yes, and I can read.
But, like, I was just reading it.
And I can read it too.
Right, but why are you flipping off me? I didn't say it.
But you repeated it because you thought it was funny.
I repeated it because I read everything out loud often, so I can explain what I'm responding to.
I came in part because Tony was pawing at your door, but I guess it's just
Man, it's so much colder out there.
you want it to stay open? So
Well, I don't want to bother you. You can close it.
No, it's fine. You bother me anyway.
Well, I don't want to bother you. I want to unbother you. So College Station, Texas has a guy who shot up a bar and is now stationed there. I don't know what to do here. Give me a thing. None of those are helmets. Why are there no helmets? Fuck. Haha! I have lots of life! Thank God. Being Kid Chameleon sucks because he has no life. Just like a YouTube gaming streamer. I don't think it's a hostage situation. It's a situation being negotiated by the hostage negotiation team, but according to the College Station police earlier, there was no hostage that they were aware of at the time. Anyway, yeah, so the reason that, so I think that having one person who's doing creative directing, one person to run the camera, and one person to run an interview is a pretty good fit, at least in the case that I was, you know, have done it, the one case that I have done it. It seems like the right kind of division of labor, and so I'm probably going to be trying to think about things that I can do that might be, you know, more interesting video content, and see if I can find some other folks who are engaged with CCTV to produce stuff with me. I think it'll be interesting to see if I can turn anything around. Ah! No! That seems bad. I'm in trouble. Oh, shit. Okay. I mean, I think that even if they were to lose all of their alcohol in this event, Van, I think they could buy more. So, hopefully that won't be the biggest, or hopefully that'll just be the biggest concern of the entire event. I feel like if that was it, we could probably all survive. Right, but the Rockies do not have the only alcohol left in Trump's America. I know because I have some in my pantry, so... Alright. Shit! Oh, that's fine. Uh-oh. Done. Oh, Gaming Alert, by the way, you were totally right that I needed a wolf mask. In fact, I had to go back to earlier levels and I had to collect more yarn balls because I needed to have a wolf mask that I didn't have. So, good job on that advice, because I don't think I would have realized without your help that I needed another mask. Appreciate that. Ooh. Oh god! That's not a hat. I need another hat. Got another hat for me? That's an extra life. That's kind of a hat. Not a great hat, but... Come on. Come up here. That's right. Come on. Oh, come on. Haha! 2 down. Of course, now I'm gonna lose, but whatever. Still got 2. Yes! This game was played at SGDQ this year. And the heads were definitely a component of the game. Okay, do we have any other helmets? Because I'm about to die. Fuck! I don't think, yes, this was based on a different Japanese game. I don't remember what it's called, but yes, it was. Okay, where's my heads? There you are. Dodge the banana runs. They are really something. It's the Mario 2 of the whatever. No, I think Spelunky is definitely an action platformer. A lot of combat, a lot of like item pickups and like item usage and other stuff like that. It's definitely less puzzle. Like it's a little bit of a maze, but the maze is always pretty simple. You always know that you want to go to the bottom. It doesn't play like a puzzle platformer. Get over here, heads. There we go. Oh, man. Managing bouncing on those heads is freaking hard. Alright, buddy. We're gonna be friends here. Just gonna be nice and go up and down for me. Come on. Escape rooms are fun. You should come to Boston and do one. I know where several are. Haha! I'm awesome! Alright. I have whatever this is. Apparently it reveals secrets. Secret revealing are us. Ow! There's not a whole lot of escape rooms with real danger involved, so I think you might be out of luck on that particular front. So, Gaming Lure, which level are you stuck on in Hat in Time? I had a little bit of trouble with the free roam Alpine Skyline, or whatever it was called. I don't care about diamonds. Diamond in the rough. That's useless. That is less useless. Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I found it overall. I found it pretty good. There was a couple of moments of like feeling like I was stuck, and then because I am a complete anti-collectionist, the getting to the like final end level and then realizing I had to go back for yarn because of the wolf hat was frustrating. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I did get a little bit lost on the Falcon level. Found that a little bit annoying, but not too bad. Okay, I kind of thought that this was going to be the way to go, but... Gotcha. So you just don't like 3D platformers, probably. Whereas I'm like, have I beaten this game yet? No. Then I must continue to torture myself, which is a less healthy approach. And I don't recommend it. Okay, what can I do here? Because I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time. Landing on that. Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. I found Hat in Time to be pretty stress-free. I found a little bit of... I mean, I always find it most stressful when I can't progress, right? And so that's, for me, that's the biggest stressor in any game, is when I feel stuck, especially when streaming, even when not, though. Street Fighter 5. Yeah, she mentioned earlier when she was here that her internet keeps getting slower. I mean, the nice thing at least is that Comcast has at least acknowledged that there's a problem in her area. It means it's likely a physical problem, and it means that they, like, given that they know where it is, it's likely it can actually be fixed. It's annoying that she's dealing with such hell to get it even looked at, much less fixed, but, you know, at least there's a chance that it will make progress. Is this gonna be something good? No, of course not. Of course not. Give me something good. SFV is Street Fighter 5. I already said that, sorry. Streamer brain is my only excuse. God damn it. I don't think I've ever played a fighting game seriously, so. Like, Comcast in her neighborhood is just busted. So she gets like 1 megabit per second up. Which sounds like shitty wiring somewhere in the neighborhood. Like, some cable somewhere has water accumulated in it and is bending a fiber or something along those lines is most likely what's happening. Or something like in that general vicinity. But it took like months, it took like 3 weeks of her trying to talk to people and getting told that she was a liar and everything else like that before they finally sent out a tech team that knew what they were doing and are meaningfully looking at it, so it's really annoying. It's about what I expect from Comcast, unfortunately. 0.16 megabits per second, god. Oh no! Oh, fuck. Because I was totally convinced that, no. I'm totally convinced I'm going the wrong way. Let's do it a different way. Sword me, baby. Let's go. Yep. Yeah, when you can only get like half a megabit per second, that's one, that's not functional internet, and two, that's like well beyond, you know, what is the reasonable result of, you know, as always their concern, their response is always like, oh, we'll reset your modem for you. And it's like, no, don't reset my fucking modem. Like, fix the problem. Figure out what the problem is and fix it. Okay, I think that Samurai Guy can do it. There we go. Now, did you upgrade just, are you on Comcast and did you upgrade to business class or did you just upgrade your consumer net? My rule of thumb is that if you're on residential, like if you're on Xfinity rather than Comcast Business, Comcast really just doesn't care about you. It's always my recommendation to get their business service because they actually have an SLA in the contract on business service and they don't on consumer. It sucks that you have to double the price of it to get functional internet, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Fuck. Ah, Spectrum. Got it. Okay. It's amazing to me how they send, like, I realize these techs don't have a lot of experience and mostly what they're designed to do is just, like, reset the modem in person, but it is frustrating to me that people come out and can't, like, figure out that there's something wrong. You know, as someone who's worked very hard to deal with and debug their fucking internet from afar, it's really frustrating to me. So like Clintus was having this problem for like weeks and he thought it was on YouTube and I was like, it's not YouTube. And I like did everything I could and I helped him like get a trace route and finally he like took it and gave it to someone who was like a decent tech who came out and they found out like his entire junction box was just like full of water. And it's so like all of the wires in there were corroded and it's like, how come you couldn't figure that out? How come I had to be the one to be like, no, look, this is broken. Like it's really local to you. Like I'm not seeing anything on the, you know, on the YouTube side. Like this is busted. I mean, the reality, so this is the reality of Comcast, right? So Comcast is too big. Comcast is entirely too large. They are the largest ISP in the US. and they're probably the second or third largest in the world. China Telecom is bigger, but not US, so I know almost nothing about it because they can't get access to YouTube. And so, like, they're one of the top few ISPs in the world, and because they're run, you know, and have to stack up corporate profits because they're a US-based company, the customer experience sucks. Like, they just underpay for customer support techs, and as a result, you get what you pay for. You get largely, you know, people who are working as contract workers who have no investment in the product. They have no investment in the quality of the product, and they just don't care that they are really shitty and wrong. It's terrible. It's a really terrible thing. China Unicom might be bigger too. I don't know. This seems good. Let's do this instead. Hello, I am a tank. Oh, this is bad. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I don't have as much visibility into the China stuff. I know that China Telecom is bigger, but I don't know if Unicom is bigger as well. Okay, that seems to have worked better. I'm gonna follow some dancing little skulls. Yeah, so the entire, I mean, and this is the problem with low budget contracted support, right? They are almost entirely following a playbook. They have no technical knowledge themselves. They are paid like low wage, you know, workers, because Comcast doesn't pay much for them, and as a result, they're just not invested at all in fixing the problem or doing anything good. You can fix those things, but it's actually really hard to incentivize when you're hiring people via the contracting processes that these companies have decided is the only way to do it, because they don't want to hire employees, because, you know, then they'd have to pay benefits. Oh shit, what the fuck? Okay. And like, I am sure that there are, rather, I know for sure that there are people out there who feel the same way. I've talked to them. I've talked to the Comcast employees who are like that. The customer support that you're dealing with over the phone mostly is not US based and is employed through just low budget contracts. And I think that that's it. Like, and when you have low budget contracts, you just get low quality of service. I mean, this is the same reason why I think, you know, if you look at a lot of the kind of stuff on major tech companies and harassment and takedowns and everything else like that, that there's a lot of kind of shitty mistakes that get done there too, is that these people are poorly incentivized. They're incentivized to maximize numbers, and they are you know, low wage workers who, you know, if they get fired from this job, they're just going to go and get one at another company working under the same contractor, and it's not going to be any different for them. Shit. Somehow get to the top. Oh, that was a tank. I'm trying to figure out which actual helmet I even want here, and I don't even know. I want to be fast, so I kind of want to be sword guy, but alright. Fuck, fuck, fuck! Dead. Fuck! God damn it. So yeah, so while in theory it is 100% the job of someone working in customer support to solve the customer's problems, in practice there's no incentive for people working to there's very little incentive for a lot of low-wage contract workers to do so when they're working for contracting agencies that have contracts with tons and tons of different tech companies, because they can, you know, get fired from one and then just go work at the next one. And I don't say that to be like mean, it's just an aspect of the way that these tech companies have set things up, that's the reality of the situation. It's interesting that when I shoot, I appear to go faster? It's weird. Alright. This is, yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're given really crappy incentives, and they do whatever they can to hit them. They are not well rewarded by doing well, and that sucks. I don't like that, like, when a block appears on top of you, you get dead like that. It feels shitty. I know that it's, you know, it makes sense, but kind of wish that it would just take away one of your hit points or something. Also, this level is fucking full of troll blocks, which I'm not digging either. Hello, supermodel! 100%, like, the laws around contract labor need to be tightened a ton. I think it's a huge abuse of everything. The overall, like, and a lot of this is just that, I mean, I don't know. It's sad that these big companies, like, the reality is, of course, the reason this is a problem is because the market has failed in these industries, right? These are companies that largely have no meaningful competition, and so therefore providing better service doesn't need to happen. There's no motivation to do so because it's just a cost, and people are gonna have to use you anyway. Like, why spend the money to improve the quality of your tech support if people are gonna have to pay you for internet regardless? And while I know that the employees who work at these companies really do care, I've seen it. I've talked to Comcast workers and who, like, employees, like technical employees, and I know how much it hurts them when, you know, the same with me. Like, when I see someone screw up in an answer on Team YouTube, or I see someone screw up in an answer via, you know, partner support or other things like that, and I'm like, you know, that sucks. And it hurts their soul, but they can't be the scaled support, and the company isn't investing in providing real scaled support. It's not that you can't afford to run Comcast at, like, a, you know, 2% lower profit margin. They make hundreds of millions of dollars every year in profit. Berserker hat? Give me a berserker hat. No. Okay. Interesting. So I can walk right through the invisible blocks. I only trigger them if I hit them with my head. God damn it. Just trying to... Give me a hat. Yes. Yeah, and so that's, I mean, that's the big problem, right? Is that, you know, we've created an entire ecosystem where there's no competition. There's no competition for a vital service that we all depend on to live our lives. I mean, I could at this point play last Friday's CPG rant about how, like, we deserve municipal broadband and how we could have built it if we had decided to do that instead of giving rich people, you know, a $100 million tax, or, you know, $1 trillion tax break. Like, we could have built it for the amount of money that we decided we should give away to rich people. And that's sad. Fuck! Troll blocks. I mean, at least in this case, I'm supposed to have... Oh, it's called the Cliffs of Illusion. So the whole point here is to keep this guy and use him appropriately to make your way through the level. Well, that seems reasonable. I mean, who really hasn't had a giant TV fall on them? I think is the question we all need to be asking ourselves. I mean, I haven't, but other than me. Right, I forgot the fly can't actually fly. He just wall jumps. Alright. Be calm. So, no, I don't think that's true. So there's a certain amount to which the investment in the cell technology, 4G, 3G, etc., has come from the government, but there's actually not a lot of investment in the actual networks. One thing that was threatened, like Trump said, was like, oh, we should just nationalize, like 5G should be a national, like we should nationalize it. And that's actually not the most crazy thing that has ever been said. That, you know, if we were going to treat 5G as the solution to internet problems, we should nationalize it, we should make it a public resource, we should treat it that way, which would presumably take, at least in part, the form of a public-private partnership where, you know, we would have companies that would operate on those wires in the same way that, you know, you used to be able to operate on the monopoly AT&T's wires. I mean, if Trump hadn't been the one to say it, it would not be the most crazy idea ever to think about. Because it's Trump, there's actually no meaning in it. He's just, you know, seeing something that he thinks he can get rich off of, I'm sure. Or a soundbite that sounded good to him. The problem with 5G is that there's this theory that it's going to be like this magical end-all be-all for internet, but the reality is that that's bullshit. It offers actually very little in improved communication technology, especially for rural areas. It depends heavily on microcells because it's a very short-wave broadcast standard, and so you've got to have, like, it's not going to go through buildings or trees or other things like that very well, which means you have to have cell towers or microcells basically everywhere in order to make it work. And in order to get bandwidth for those microcells, you have to run wires to them. So you still need a fiber network to run to the, you know, 5G networks. I don't think he even knows why he wants Space Force. I honestly, like, this to me feels like the most doddering old man aspect of the things he wants. Like, I'm sure that there's something in his head that has triggered this, but other than, you know, okay, this is going to provide some, you know, government contracting company like a shit ton of money, which I can understand and think is where a lot of this comes from, I don't really know what he's getting into there. I don't know what he's thinking on it, so. Alright, so somewhere there's like a enemy that's gonna fuck. Yeah, and 5G doesn't actually fix any of the rural internet problems with cell service. You still have to have just as many, if not more, towers. It's just not going to be the effective fix that everyone seems to imagine it is. And we get this even in Cambridge, right? When I'm advocating for Upgrade Cambridge, I have to talk to people all the time and explain to them why 5G internet is not going to solve all of their problems. Because it's not. It's not going to make a meaningful difference. But people are just like, oh, we shouldn't install fiber. We should just do, you know, the new thing. We should just do 5G microcells everywhere. And it's like, yeah, except 5G microcells don't solve a home internet problem. They can solve, like, some other problems, maybe. And they maybe allow, like, an Internet of Things to happen without just completely destroying all access to cellular technology. But it's not magic. Got past that. Great. I've been here once before. Cool. Let these fade. Ugh. Damn. Okay. Oh, don't touch that. That'll kill me. A Space Force sounds cool, like, in theory. I mean, as Mark has pointed out multiple times, like, we already have a Space Force. It's called Air Force Space Command. They manage all of our, you know, space-going stuff. You know, okay, great. You're gonna rename the National Reconnaissance Office Space Force, combine it with Air Force Space Command and the limited Army, you know, activity there. Fine, but, like, what the fuck is the point of that? Like, is that really what we're doing here and talking about spending, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on? Is this like you want to invest in new forms of spy satellites? Like, what is the thing you're— oh, those aren't teleporters like I thought they were. I'm dumb. Okay. I mean, the reality is, Gaming Lawyer, if someone were to, like, campaign in rural areas on better internet, they would win those states. If someone, like, honestly, if a presidential candidate were to run and their sole issue was, like, I will make there be, like, you know, affordable internet for everybody, like, internet that costs, I don't know, $20 a month for gigabit internet service, I honestly think there's a good chance they would win. Like, as long as they weren't like terrible like Trump is in every other way, I think that would actually be a really effective campaign strategy, because, like, rural internet is a huge win. There's a lot of people in rural areas who absolutely need it. It's something that has been ignored by every politician. You know, the sole exception was, I guess, one of the gubernatorial candidates in Michigan was running on that, but, you know, running on a lot else as well, and wasn't running on, you know, free internet or whatever. But like, I honestly think that if you want to be president, that's the way to go. Like, just get up there and say, like, I will fix the internet problem. You will have internet. There are so many people who don't have reliable access to affordable internet, and we should fix it. We should fix it. And so this is a little bit like, what's his name? The guy, the rent is too damn high party in New York, basically he was a mayoral candidate for New York, and his entire platform was the rent is too damn high. And everything that, you know, every question he got asked in every debate, he could bring it back to the rent being too damn high. Like, why is, you know, what are you gonna do about, you know, improve services for people who live in the city and do blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, we're gonna fix the fact that the rent is too damn high, and then people are gonna have money again. What are you going to do about XYZ? Well, we're going to build more housing, and so therefore we're going to have more people employed because the rent is too damn high and we need to build more housing. You know, what are you going to do about, you know, racially biased policing? Well, the reason that we have racially biased policing is because people can't afford, like, the people who would make good police persons can't afford to do it because the rent is too damn high. And he would just go through everything and just go at it from that angle. And I think it was a really, I mean, it was a rhetorically effective technique. Unfortunately, he obviously didn't get elected, but, you know, it was interesting. Hello, Hyaga. The Marines. Which song is the Marine song? For it's high, high, he in the field artillery. That's not the Marine song. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. You have not, Supermodel. Because we're not going to fight in space. God damn it. There is no Space Force. There's not even going to be a Space Force. Like, it's just going to be a stupid marketing gimmick. It's a way for Trump to make more fucking money selling goddamn buttons or something. Alright, we're gonna finish this level, and once we do, we're gonna do a special CPG rant where you can pick the topic. So you can pick any topic you want. It can be anything from Space Force to dandelions. It can be libraries to, you know, the asshole in my class in documentary filmmaking class. It's largely just more bureaucracy. Like, it is a functional change of a bunch of work. Like, realistically, what it's going to end up being, nobody knows what the fuck they intend for it to be. What it's going to end up being is a bunch of, like, fucking bureaucratic change with maybe a double down mission to do more, you know, reconnaissance or whatever else, like to stay ahead in space satellites. But, like, military plans from a guy who thinks that the F-35 is literally invisible is a thing. Okay, is this a pit? Looks like it. Okay. I'm gonna be a supermodel, oh yeah. Alright. So, what do you want as a CPG rant topic? Yeah, it is more comfortable. Thank you. I need to fix my Stream Deck. I miss it. Ugh, it's so annoying to push buttons manually and shit. I'm gonna give 60 seconds, and once 60 seconds is up, I will pick one of the topics. Did I already do a CPG rant on libraries? By the way, I don't know if people saw this last week when I mentioned it, but this is something I laser cut on the laser cutter at work. It's got little gears in here, and so when you move the arms, the little arrow thing pulls down. Because it's made out of chipboard, the gears don't quite mesh well, so I can't pull it down with the button like you're supposed to. Fake news, no clip. I'm not gonna rant about no clip. I like no clip. Do you want another rant about libraries? I can do another rant about libraries. Alright, libraries. Confused status effects feels like it's a bit thin. Fake news. I've got an old CPG rant on that. It's published. YouTube's Chris plays games fake news. Feel like that's a thing. Propaganda. I can't spell. Omarosa. Oh god. Why does, like, I hate that YouTube doesn't, like, why are none of my videos indexable? I got like 12 views on these videos and you won't give me like a ton of, you know, search ranking? God damn. Okay. Yeah, libraries, see, all of my libraries are against library. Like, I don't have any rants against libraries because I have rants against library man, so that's not going to work. So we'll have to do fake news. Rule number 1, take CPG rants. You got to take out the glasses because otherwise, like, when I look up at the camera, you get reflections. It's not so bad anymore because my lighting setup is a little bit different, but that's the reason why I don't wear glasses for CPG rants. Now you know. Fake news as a term has lost all meaning thanks to the idiocy of our current executive-in-chief. I'm the Chris who plays games. This is your CPG rant of the evening. While many people decry fake news, propaganda, and other tools used to influence our media, what they don't really decry is the fact that fake news as a term has lost all goddamn meaning. When we started using the term fake news in 2016, it meant something very specific. It meant the creation of literally false information by propaganda artists to try to convince you of things. It involved like photoshopping of images or sharing of information that was false, sharing of conspiracy theories as if they were real, creating entire websites and sharing this information in a way that was designed to trick people into believing it. But the reality is at this point that the term fake news has been so subjugated by the current usage of both the mainstream media at this point and, of course, the commander-in-chief who started out using it that way, that it was absolutely and completely destroyed by the absolute idiocy in which it's used. Fake news is not news I disagree with. Fake news is not calling a bunch of people as a journalist and asking them questions. Fake news is not a term that just means whatever the fuck you want it to mean. Words have meanings, and we gave it a meaning, and then you fucking destroyed it. And when I say you, I don't mean the people who are watching this because, of course, you didn't have anything to do with destroying it, but instead, I mean all of those other people out there in the world. Oh my god! It's so frustrating to look at fake news as a term that had meaning and was important to work on and think about how could we do better? How could we give people the learning and education and media literacy? How could we go out there and help them learn how to vet sources and think about whether something is multiply sourced or facts or anything else like that? And now, fake news is just a term that means anything I don't like? CNN is not fake news! The Washington Post is not fake news. The New York Times is not fake news because they publish something that you don't like. And this isn't just true of Trump. It's true of everyone in the fucking right-wing political landscape. They love to use the term fake news and say like, oh, this person's a journalist doing journalism things. That's totally fake. Good fucking God. Fake news had a meaning, and we can stop calling it fake news. We can stop using that term now, because it doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's just another Trumpian term that doesn't mean anything, because nothing means anything anymore. There's no consequences. We all live in a world where just whatever happens, whatever people think. But we should still be thinking about how to fight propaganda. We should still be thinking about how to be more critical of the things we do. We should still be thinking about how to make information that we share more bettable. Just last week, someone shared a picture on my Facebook feed, and it was of, like, you know, clouds lit from below with orange lights coming out from underneath them or whatever else like that. And people were like, oh, look, this is the California wildfires. Well, it wasn't the California wildfires. It was a photo taken somewhere else many years before, and someone just shared it, and people, like, retook it, or weeks before, whatever, days before, and someone took it and shared it again. But it was, like, from Arizona or Honolulu. I don't know. It's from somewhere. I don't remember even where it was from, because all I can remember is the fake story that went along with it. But the reason that was so powerful, and the reason it was so effective is because we have grown beyond the idea that things should be sourced. We've grown beyond the idea that things should come from a place, because in part these platforms encourage people taking screenshots and sharing things that don't actually exist. We have this whole idea that sourcing is no longer important, because the platforms discourage the idea of sourcing, because you're encouraged, if you're on Facebook, to post original content, to post content that you screenshot on Twitter and put on Facebook rather than sharing a link. Because those platforms don't want you to go outside their little bubble of platforminess. They want you to stay on their platform and do all these things so people manipulate that. Facebook pages are go and take screenshots and post them on their Facebook walls because they want to do that. But you know what? That eliminates all of your ability to source information. It eliminates all of your ability to see whether something is true. And it means that we get these stupid tweets that are fake tweets that people screenshot and they share on their Facebook wall, and people share it uncritically thinking. Of course, the fact is that people don't even realize The Onion is satire anymore because the world that we live in is impossible to satirize. Satirize is the word I was trying to say. But we have lost all ability to source information. We have lost all ability to find out where something came from because it's no longer expected. Why would you source something? Why would you reference where something came from? Well, you just don't. You just take a screenshot of it and you share it on Facebook, or you share it on Twitter, or you post it on Tumblr and then you share it on Facebook, and you take a screenshot of the Facebook post and you put that on Twitter. And then you take a screenshot of the Tumblr post that was on Facebook that was on Twitter and put it back on Facebook because, you know, you got a new person who needs to make all of their little clicks and make their page get bigger. And oh my God, I hate it. I hate it all. I hate all the stupid algorithmic bullshit. I hate all of the fucking growth hacks. I hate everything that you people do in order to make your stupid pages blow up and be big because you're destroying the entire world of hyperlinking and news media and sourcing and all of it, all just because you want to make a few extra fucking bucks. How do you even make money on Facebook anyway? I don't even know. You just do it. And it all started because of fucking fake news. I'm the Chris who plays games, and this was your CPG rant of the evening. Hi, Carell. Hi, Tube McCookies. Welcome to the stream. I'm the Chris who plays games, and that was your CPG rant of the evening. Just a little thing I do every now and again. Well, really, oftentimes at 11 o'clock when I'm streaming. Sorry for being a little bit shoutier than usual there. Hopefully I didn't get too much spittle in your faces. And I hope that those people who enjoy CPG rants, exactly. I did like the executive, yes, the executive in chief. That was not my wisest moment, I will admit. This is what I get for not having something prepped, but so I think that wasn't quite the direction of fake news that people were thinking of when they asked me to say it, but it was the slightly different aspect of ranting that I thought was deserved in this case.
Chris is the executive in chief of my heart.
Thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate it. I'm gonna look up something real quick. What am I on? I forgot. Just die real quick. I want to see what level I'm on. Wind Castles 2. Wind Castles 2. Okay. Man, there's a lot of lies in this game. 79. 33. Okay. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Brad, for the $10 super chat. Why did what did the emoji make you sad? Did it say it out loud? I wasn't even paying attention. I'm sorry. That was easy. Yeah, and I think that the indiscriminate believing in whatever people want is like a huge problem. And it's a problem that's caused by a whole bunch of different dimensions at the same time, which of course makes it even harder to deal with, right? Like anytime something requires like a solution that requires multiple parties to collaborate, you know, we know we're in trouble. Fuck. Okay, so I guess I have learned my lesson, which is that I should just trigger those things and then get the fuck out of the way. Yeah, so in the Super Chat API, custom emoji are not treated in any way specially. They are just the text, so. Oh, seriously? God damn it. Anyway, thank you very much for the donation, Brad. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for the topic. Whoever said fake news, I don't remember. It's true. I tend to forget how much Rush Limbaugh, you know, created the mess that we're in now, because frankly, his involvement is kind of like predates my paying attention. Like, Rush Limbaugh was always just like a kooky guy who I didn't care much about. It wasn't someone that I had to like be concerned was ruining the discourse of the country. At least, I mean, rather, maybe I should have been, but I wasn't. And this is true in many ways in my involvement in politics is, you know, I probably should have been paying more attention than I was all along, but it is still the case that I wasn't paying enough attention, so. And, I mean, and also keep in mind, like, by today's standards, I feel like Rush is pretty tame, right? Like, compare Rush Limbaugh to Alex Jones, I feel like Rush is way, way less, I don't know, crazy? Like, Jones is fucking out there with his, you know, ideas, which I know he doesn't believe any of them, and the reality is that, like, I don't know, maybe Rush actually believes some of what he says, but Alex Jones is clearly just like he's just a whatever, an incendiary, what's the word I'm looking for? But yeah, like, Rush felt principled, and so even if he didn't feel like, you know, personally strongly invested in all of the things he was saying, I always felt like he had, you know, some standard he was living by. And I just don't feel that way about the current crop of crazies. Okay. So then it's just my, you know, paying less attention to him was easy to miss. Kneel before Japanese text. That probably doesn't say Zod like it should. Thanks, Leif. I appreciate it. More super chat for good. So tonight, the super chat for good is going to the Innocence Project. Alright, so I'm curious, does it say underneath it which charity it's going to Mookies? Oh, is livestream alerts busted? Is that what's actually going on here? Oh, there we go.
Kneel before.
Yeah, the English language in whatever software I'm using, which I forget the name of at the moment, clearly does not support speaking Japanese. Sorry. I guess YouTube got people upset at it for letting people run conversion therapy ads on YouTube just recently. I think it probably just doesn't know how to say anything in Japanese, but it is also true that it doesn't know how to say Amadeus. Amadeus, Amadeus. Amadeus, Amadeus. Ah, okay. Sorry, I'm asking because it's a new feature, and I just wanted to make sure it was showing up on your screen, not because I didn't want to answer your question. So the Innocence Project is a project that works to use DNA evidence to exonerate wrongfully convicted people. So they, for example, take DNA evidence and they get it screened and retry, or, you know, bring cases back to trial where people were convicted with, you know, before there was DNA evidence, and you know, bring those cases back forward. So they have a whole bunch of cases on their website you can look at, you know, cases where young kids were basically conned into signing confessions written by the cops, and were convicted on that, and then, you know, the DNA is used to say, like, look, they couldn't have been there. You know, in this particular case, there's DNA evidence that shows it had to have been somebody else. Have a good night, gaming lawyer. Which thing is a thing, Mike? Conversion therapy. I mean, conversion therapy videos on YouTube are a thing. Ads for them should not be a thing and are in violation of policy. There's a belief among some that, you know, having those videos on YouTube at all should be a violation of policy, but as far as I know, it is not. And even though the ads were taken down, the videos were not, so. Yeah, I mean, they're the run-of-the-mill, you know, run-of-the-mill conversion therapy ads, are very much a thing, sadly. I don't care about getting rid of that thing. Let's just go beyond here, past there. So I think what I'm looking for is like a teleport pad. Hello, Jacob! Yeah, so Innocence Project works to free wrongfully convicted people using DNA evidence. The money from Super Chat to Good will go entirely towards them, and, you know, helps out with that. I don't know where to go. It's annoying. Alright, let's try. So we looked in this tower. Let's... try going down here. No, that's no good. Anyway, man, that was a good rant. I feel like that was a good rant. If you had to give that rant a score out of, you know, out of 10, 1 being worst rant, 10 being best rant. What do you think? Yeah, just, well, I'm not even sure. Well, okay. You don't like my rants. You don't like when I get all shouty. I don't know if I trust your numbers. Oh god! That was dumb of me. I think it lags like hell when there's all these spikes running around. Okay. Well, thank you for assuaging my ego. I needed it. Okay, so it's not here. Fuck. It's not there. So fixing rural broadband. I think that the biggest thing we need to do, I think that fixing rural broadband is 100% the type of thing that a municipally driven program driven by grants from the federal government, similar to the rural electrification project in the 1950s, could absolutely fix. I think it is the type of program that provides a significant amount of economic benefits, even like once it's done. So you're looking at a project literally to build infrastructure that will last for decades. It's the type of project that will build a ton of you know, good stuff. What you need is someone who is willing to shepherd such a project. I don't think it is really that hard of a thing to like make numbers that work. in Western Massachusetts. So Massachusetts has dedicated $57 million to rural broadband here in Massachusetts, and states are using that grant money to build networks. They're using that money to go out there and create, create sustainable fiber networks. They're able to pay off their bonds faster than expected because the demand for this type of network is very high. And so I just don't, yeah. So, I mean, my fix is really just municipal broadband. Municipal broadband everywhere, built in a nationwide project. I think that's the fix. Absent that, I think the states have to do it, you know, with everything. No, like, fiber is the solution. There is no other technical solution that will compete with fiber. You know, in extremely rural areas for short periods of time, like, there is absolutely some argument to be made that, you know, projects like Loon offer value, and I'm not going to deny that. Loon is great when your infrastructure has been knocked out, but for the most part, Loon is a project that is providing net in places that already have, like, where a base station already provides network, right? So it's not going to be like this magical solution to everything. Is it over here? No. I'm just gonna kind of chill out. Oh, god damn it. I was trying to stay a little bit higher, but I failed. Conversion therapy is where you are, some church or something else like that, that knows you're gay, attempts to convince you that you are not actually gay, you are actually straight, by telling you, like, all of the evils that are associated with being gay. It is a horrifying and horrific practice, that is used to, you know, primarily by religious people, to try to, you know, influence, I don't know what the right words are here, but yeah, pray the gay away. That's right. Oh, there we go. Got it. Okay. Well, that was a really annoying way to win that level. Would have liked to figure that out a while ago, but whatever. I don't like hidden walls being a core, that are not obvious, being a core part of the mechanic. I don't like it. Snap into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah, fuck. That is something you have to be aware of with Spiky Helmet Guy. Or fly. Down, down, down we go. Okay. Oh, well that was dumb. Don't think I had, oh no, I think I did have to go that way. Okay. Now we just gotta hope for the best. Yes, conversion therapy is dumb. It's not only dumb, it's abusive, and that's the bigger problem. Is that it's physically and, you know, emotionally harmful. It's an absolutely devastating practice that is, you know, largely practiced against the, you know, against the will of the people who are forced to engage in it. It's terrible. It's a terrible practice done by terrible people for terrible reasons. Mostly just bigotry, and it's garbage. I don't want, that is not a rant that I want to own. It's such a terrible thing that, like, I wouldn't do it justice. I am supposed to be a fly. Yeah, well, so I'm a fly, sort of. I'm a fly who can't fly. Which is not a very useful fly at all, in my opinion, but I can wall jump and I can stick to walls, but I can't fly. Do that. I can cling to things and wall jump. Those are my only claims to flydom. So somewhere, I feel like there's got to be like a berserker helmet or something. Because I feel like up here there was an area where I couldn't see a way to get through without a berserker helmet. No life. Okay, none of that helps me. Oh, I can go down this way, okay. Not what I would have expected, but that's fine. This game has 100 levels. Is that right? Is it 100? I know it has a lot. I didn't know if it was 100 or not. Alright, let's go ahead and grab... Yeah, so there's Game Genie codes to skip to most of the levels, but they only had like 70-ish or so, but it might be that there's not Game Genie codes to skip to every one of them, since I don't actually know how those work. So one of the interesting things about the Game Genie is the way it works is basically just rewriting specific memory accesses. So let's do this. Hope this is good. God, what if... Does this level never end? No. I think you should cheer for whoever you want. Maybe you should cheer for the bad guys. I feel like they need more help than I do. Oh, what the fuck? Seriously? What do I need to do? Bad guys, what you gonna do? What you gonna stab when they come for you? Okay, so here's the problem I've got. I think maybe what I need to do is not actually trigger each of these, because then... No. Oh, okay. That's what I need to do. I need to fall through an invisible floor. God damn. Freaking invisible levels, I tell you. Run, 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 Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town. Da, 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 da. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Don't want to jump that far. I don't want to jump that far to avoid that, because then I am on the bouncies. But I know that I must avoid it at all costs, and if I don't, I will be sorry. Okay. So I think that if you are born with a sex that you are not comfortable with, then, you know, gender dysmorphia and you know, other things like that are real problems that people face. If you are gay and you don't want to be, I mean, it's not really, I don't know. I think that most of the reasons that you would be gay and not want to be, and like, gay is like your sexual preference is a preference that you have. It's how you're wired, and most of the reasons that I can think of that someone wouldn't feel comfortable with that end up being problems that are not with the preference that they have, but with the reaction from other people to that preference. But I mean, let's just be clear. People who are engaged in performing conversion therapy are just enacting a religious bigotry, and so we don't need to try and find excuses for them, because they're not acting in good faith. They're just bad people. In all cases. So we don't have to get too far into why, you know, this might, why there might need to be more tools for people who are uncomfortable in their identity, in order to understand that this is not the way. And once we are no longer engaging in, you know, pray the Jesus away as an approach, then we can talk about how do we provide lives that are more comfortable for people who are, you know, gay, lesbian, transgender, any number of things are super important things that we should work on improving. No doubt, but we just don't need to do it in that way. And I'm not the right one to tell anyone, you know, what we should or shouldn't be doing in that realm, because, you know, I don't know. Looks like I need to be cheered for. Yeah, well, so that's a big, you know, again, coming back to, like, in my experience, I don't know, my experience is limited, but I would be interested to know if there are people who are like, I'm gay and I wish I wasn't, and it's not because of some kind of social pressure in their living situation. It seems unlikely to me, because, like I said, it is how you're wired. It would seem to me weird to me that, like, how you're wired would be something you would want to change other than because of outside pressures. Doesn't mean it's impossible, just that would be my experience at this point. God damn. Ah! I want to run as fast as possible because my timing is bad and I'm missing cycles. Like, I end up doing stupid things. Fast, 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 fast! Run, run, run as fast as you can. Can't catch me because I'm the gingerbread man. God damn it, missed that cycle. Okay, I'm not gonna get this one. Got that. Hit that. Upsy mozzie, upsy daisy. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Fuck! On a lighter note, Emu Paradise took down all of their ROMs last week. Basically, the operator said, like, you know, I can see the way the wind's blowing, and I'm not going to deal with this on an individual level anymore. It's just become too much. Totally an understandable... Oh, shit, I should have hit that. Totally an understandable position for him to take, but very frustrating. You know, emulation and ROMs are pretty much the only way that people can play a lot of the older games at this point, and this is clearly just like an attempt to exert control by major copyright holders. Mostly what this is just like copyright is fucked. Like this should not be something that, you know, we have to worry about 30-year-old games that no one is commercializing anymore being something that Nintendo can send copyright takedown notices over. But that's the world we live in, and unfortunately until we fix it, we've got a real problem. One of the issues of this is, you know, there's a lot of preservation. You know, there's as many people who are involved in overall preservation efforts will call out, there's a ton of preservation efforts. There's a ton of art that is in these games, you know, whether it is art in the way that it's programmed or art in the way that it's, you know, literal sprites and backgrounds and everything else like that, that really has become, will become completely inaccessible without emulation, so. Yep, I was completely, I thought that, you know, we had reached a point where effectively we were safe on some things, and I was clearly wrong. You know, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I had kind of been like, you know, I don't feel like we need to do a ton of new preservation efforts here, because I feel like ROMs will keep it alive, but it's clear that, you know, that's not a dependable solution at this point, so. We got to do something different, and I think, you know, it's really unfortunate that that's the way it went. I will say the Internet Archive does still have the Good NES and Good Sega, Good NES and Good Genesis ROM packs, which are basically collections of every ROM that exists on the platform on their website. So at least that resource hasn't gone away yet. But, you know, I don't know if that's going to stay there forever either. We're looking at really a world where archival and preservation of these things becomes impossible. Well, so there's two aspects of that, Mike, right? One is, while those ROMs may still be available in some way or another, I'm just gonna look at something real quick here. Okay. Accessibility is important. It is absolutely like a crucial aspect that in order for ROMs to be useful, they have to be accessible to people. And by removing ROMs from Emu Paradise, there's no doubt that there's a lot of people who previously might have had access to these things who no longer do. The fact that it's still possible for aficionados to get them is one thing, but one of the things that it makes clear and sets the tone is that, like, this is a chilling effect for people who might want to research or dig into these things, is just the knowledge that, you know, Nintendo is willing to go after people for hosting ROMs in one way or another, even if it's just with DMCA's. Like, that's a real problem, because it means that research and other things are going to experience those chilling effects from now on. So I think that we shouldn't be naive and think that just because it's possible to get access to something, it means that that there's nothing lost here. I think that there still is. I think there's pretty serious losses in our culture from hiding these things. I mean, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I downloaded the Good NES, the Good SNES, and the Good Genesis packs PlayStation's harder because, you know, downloading every ROM that's ever been on PlayStation is just like prohibitive as far as space goes because they're so much bigger. So I don't have a good solution for that for myself. But, you know, the ones that I play the most often, I've just got access to that's easy. And Nintendo has always been a, you know, they've always been extremely protective of their copyright stuff. And they have that right, but I wish that they didn't. I think that the problem here is not specifically Nintendo, it's overall copyright law. Send me back to the beginning. Yes. Which is not what I wanted to do, but the only way you can figure that out is to test it. And I will say that it's not actually, like, the person who runs Emu Paradise did not actually say that Nintendo was what triggered it. It's my assumption that it was, because that seems like the most likely explanation to me. But it could be that it wasn't. God damn it. Okay, so I can't stand on those platforms. Fuck. Ah. No, I won't rage quit. I'm just disappointed because I think with my current progress, I don't think I'm actually going to finish this game tonight, which is a shame because I kind of hoped I would. It was a bit of a naive hope, but okay, so that was completely useless. Must be missing something. How do I get to that platform? Grab a new fly suit. Sure, but download a ROM of, I don't know. Let's see. I feel like downloading a ROM of, you know, Battle Golfer Yui is probably harder than a ROM of Super Mario World. And like I said, like half of this is, did I somehow end up in the right spot? Like just by accident? Fuck. Damn it. So yeah, the more popular games will like all the games that are on the like the mini Nintendo and the mini NES, the mini Super Nintendo and the mini NES are going to continue to be available. Of course they are. Like, those are the games that are easy to get. That's not the concern. The concern is for the more obscure titles, and the concern is in moving towards a world and a culture where we have completely normalized the control of copyright holders to the extent that they feel that this is the right thing for them to do. Which I think we effectively have. I mean, it's basically been a lost cause for a long time. In the same way that, you know, if you play more than 30 seconds of music in a YouTube video, you're going to get a copyright claim because copyright holders are massively powerful, and that's a fact of life. Okay, at least I figured out where to go now. It doesn't mean I have to enjoy it, but I do acknowledge it. It's a side effect of an absolutely broken copyright regime that means that, you know, storing and using and learning from and treating these things as, you know, archival educational material is a non-supported task. And it's a loss of a component of our culture, even if their practical limitations on technically intelligent people are not that high. I mean, like, the easiest example of this is if you look at, so the Internet Archive has the ability to stream a bunch of different games. So you can play like a bunch of different DOS games on their website. They like have an in-browser DOS box, you know, that you can play on. But that doesn't actually allow you to download the games. So they have like these archives of discs or whatever, and they'll let you stream them but not download them, even though like downloading and getting access to those files is what the Internet Archive is generally known for. Why is that? Because they're afraid of the copyright holders, because they have seen enough of their behavior to say, hey, this is too high risk, we can't do it. And when, you know, your source of internet truth is saying that, like, that's a bad sign. There we go. Alright, let's fly. Fly, baby, fly. Make your mother sigh. But yeah, in general, I am a big fan of a copyright minimalist perspective. I think that we should absolutely do our best to minimize the amount to which we prevent people from doing anything with older materials, especially materials that are no longer commercialized, that are no longer widely available. I think that they should be available for educational use. I think they should be available for, you know, entertainment use. These things are, you know, it should cost companies money to hide our history from us. And so, you know, there's been a number of efforts in this vein, none very serious, because nothing has gone very far, because copyright holders are very effective at lobbying, unfortunately. But it's something that I wish we had more of. I wish that we had more cultural preservation effort protection, and I wish that we had simply more access to historical artifacts without having to worry about these things. The reality is that copyright is a protection that is far, far too long at this point, by, you know, about 50 to 75 years, and I wish that we were fixing that shit. Okay, so this is not going to help me at all. Alright, so I tried going to the left. That did me no good. I tried going through here. No, okay. That's no good. There we go. Bagel Brothers. Oh, there's another one of those. Okay. Okay, so he is too tall. I cannot jump on top of his head. So I don't think that ROM sites in and of themselves were preserving those things. I agree. But I feel like it is a piece of the larger puzzle. I think that it speaks to, you know, and this is one of the things that like Good Old Games did. There's a documentary from about Good Old Games from NoClip, and they were asked like, have you guys ever considered console stuff? And basically they said like, you know, and Good Old Games is actually doing actual, like some at least actual archival stuff. They are, you know, working to archive artifacts, design documents, whatever they can get their hands on. They're trying to make sure that it's not lost, and have, you know, that as one of their MOs. And they basically said like, no, oh, well, that's not what I was hoping for. Okay. They basically said, like, no, practically speaking, this will likely never happen because the licensing bullshit around this is too much. You know, our copyright has completely destroyed the ability for people to access these in that mechanism, because we've set up these licensing regimes, so. No, the gun doesn't hurt them. The gun is just a show invisible things ray. I do have the ability to use like a diamond attack, but it requires pressing A and start combined, and it's a really hard maneuver to do. Hey, this looks better. Maybe. Not really. Can I like... Nope. Okay. And I'm not even sure that my diamond move hurts them. That's not a thing I'm positive on. Man, these Bagel Brothers, I tell you. I do like the funky synth beat we got going on here. Why is there a zebra on the screen? There's a zebra on the screen because zebras are awesome. There's no reason, just because. Yep, I agree. Garbage level. You can tell it's a garbage level because it's got two, like it's just a boss level, but it's got 2 clocks in it. Not a good sign. Oh, seriously? So at one point there was a YouTube survey that someone pointed out to, and it was like, how happy are you with the trending page? Extremely happy, very happy, happy, slightly happy, not very happy. And it's like, you know what? I feel like perhaps there's a little bit of bending of the options here. Feel like there should be not 4 happy related options to how I feel about the options on the trending page. I posted about it internally. I even found the code and the reason why it was that way and other stuff like that. And I understand it, but it was still wrong, and tried to get people to fix it, but it probably never happened. Yeah, too much health. Too much health and no indication of health, right? Like, I can tell that I'm hitting them, which is good. So, like, points on that. It makes a sound and they light up, but they don't speed up, they don't change colors, they don't, you know, behave in any different way when they're dying. And so I can't tell, like, do I have another, you know, hour of this? Am I making progress? Like, I would not have known that he was only 1 hit away. In fact, I didn't know. I mean, not just I would not have known. I did not know. I don't know exactly what I was thinking there. I think the answer was I was not. God damn it. Alright, come on underneath me, buddy. Fuck. Now, do you think that, yeah, I mean, do you think the average person who can buy a game from Steam can do that? I mean, I think that's really the question. Like, this game you buy on Steam for $1. Like, you can buy this game on Steam for $1 because Sega included it in their, you know, list of things that we care about preserving access to. And Nintendo has decided that they care about preserving access to a very small set of things. And it's frustrating to someone who cares about preservation. They don't want anyone but them to have control. They have demonstrated that they're not even able to keep their own source code. Just sad. And maybe you're right. Maybe I'm being silly, and I just like the idea of being able to access games, but I feel like, you know, we should be... I don't know. The question also came up recently for, like, Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I guess is still waiting a Blu-ray release and is very hard to get legally in the US. Oh, seriously? You're going up? God damn. Come on, up. No? Fine. This is just a clock, right? Yeah. I'd hoped that that diamond move would do damage to him, but it appears it does not. Fuck! It does appear to confuse him, but that's not what I was hoping for. Time is it? 12:15. As usual, I bit off more than I could chew. I was thinking by giving myself infinite lives, I might be able to finish this in one stream, but seems clear that's not going to happen. Which may be for the best. I've got to get up in the morning and pick up my daughter from the cross-country flight she's about to board. It's 12:15 here. I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Out in Old Bostonia. Well, near Old Bostonia, whatever. I don't want to die, you stupid heads. I want you to die. Come on, spawn. See, that's like, what the fuck is that? Like, they don't even spawn until I'm inside of them? What the hell? I mean, I've picked NES games, dude. They're all hard. Or NES and Sega Genesis games, they're all hard. I don't I don't like pick a game because it's hard. I pick games and they are hard. Alright, let's go ahead and save that. Oh, this time you're here? Fine, whatever. Maximize my health. That did not go well. No aspect of that worked out the way I wanted to. I don't think I can do it. Evidence seems to suggest that that is not the case. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Oh shit, I did not mean to pick that up. Okay, one down. No idea how many hits. A lot, feels like. It's the only number I have. Yeah, that's what I needed. A fucking diamond for no goddamn reason. Yeah, so I saw in the speedrun of this at one point, I know that I was watching these and he was mentioning how if you don't get, you know, a perfect setup, it can be a lot more difficult to defeat these heads. How you want to kind of trap yourself in between the top of the screen and the head, because that's the fastest way to kill them. I had not realized the extent to which that was true. That it was effectively crucial to do that, otherwise they become almost impossible to fucking kill. No, I definitely do not have enough information to know what a perfect setup looks like. Oopsie mazzy, oopsie daisy. I have no idea. It's from a... It's like a magician somewhere in like a movie? Oopsie mazzy, oopsie daisy. But I have no idea what from. God damn it, you fucking P-blocks. I mean, the soundtrack is good. I will give it that. Given that the rest of the level's fucking terrible, you know, at least it's got that going for it. Aha! All right. I feel like there's supposed to be another one around, and I have no idea where he is. Oh, there he is. Okay. I was thinking maybe I'd killed him by accident, but no such luck. Or rather, not by accident, but without realizing it. 3. One, two, three. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine, 10, 11. 13, 14, 15. 16. 17, 18. Okay, where are you, other head? Thank you. Can I get him to come down, or is he just gonna hang out up there? One, two, three. Damn it! Okay, yeah, so he's not gonna come down. He's just gonna hang out at the top. Fuck! Woo! I don't know how to count those, but I feel like that was at least 15. There we go. Fuck that level. Okay, I don't think I am ready for any more. I guess I gotta find the flag. Alright, flag found. GG, first try. Let's see if this is maybe an easy level. I'd like to end on a different note than that, if I can. So overall, I'm actually enjoying Kid Chameleon. It's a little bit, you know, cheesy as a premise, but I enjoy the different characters and abilities. I enjoy, the levels are great, the music is good, the gameplay is solid and enjoyable. Overall, it's a nice game. I was kind of a little bit worried that it was going to be meh, but it seems pretty nice. Alright, so my goal here is to get to one more flag point, and once we get to one more flag point, we will call it a night and bail. Not every level has a flag, so the previous level was a level but did not have a flag. Alright, let's go ahead and hit this. So the trick here is that if you're standing next to a platform, when it comes to the side, you would get smushed and die, hence the crawling. This is probably just going to bring me back to the start of the level. Nope. Thanks, Supermodel. Appreciate it. I'd appreciate everyone who hung out during those tense moments on the Bagel Brothers level. I usually like to keep things a little bit more lighthearted and talkative, but oh man, it's really hard when I'm trying to concentrate on bullshit like that. Secrets in the rocks. Just want to touch one flag. Let me touch one flag. Get out of here, dragon. Stop breathing fire on me. I feel like there's gonna be a thing hidden behind here, given the secrets in the rocks, but watch it not. Yeah, nothing. God damn it. I was so hopeful. Huh. I feel like that P in the middle has got to be a fly. It's the only way that makes sense. Huh. Okay. So maybe I'm not gonna do one more level. So, as far as Mondays go, I hope this was a good start to yours, or start to your week, or whatever else like that. I guess I'm going to be trying to participate in the Twitter silence tomorrow. So someone had proposed that, you know, people not be on Twitter on December 14th in order to celebrate the, or, you know, memorialize the Sandy Hook anniversary. And someone said how about just the 14th of every month not being on Twitter until Alex Jones is gone. So I think I'm going to do that. It's stupid and it won't be effective at doing anything, but it makes me feel better about the fact that I use that terrible website. It is frustrating when websites admit that users are in direct violation of policies and still decide to not kick them off. It makes it hard to ascribe good intentions, which I'd prefer to do, but it's getting harder and harder with Twitter at this point. When your position is this person hasn't violated our policies, or, you know, they haven't violated our policies and we have a 3-strike policy or anything else like that, that's one thing. But it is clear that Twitter has a mixed past of enforcing rules against, you know, things that happened under old guidelines, and for them to claim in this case that, you know, they have a principled position to not ban Alex Jones is frankly a little bit ludicrous. But hey, it's their website, so, you know, they get to do what they want, and so do I. And what I want is to do what little I can to send a message that Alex Jones is a fuckhead, and he shouldn't have any position on their website. Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist who has engaged in sharing conspiracies like, he runs InfoWars, which you might have heard of, and has engaged in sharing conspiracies like the whole Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax. Sharing that conspiracy has led to many people being harassed to the point where they've had to move, and other terrible things. But yeah, primarily, you know, he's using these conspiracy theories to, you know, prey on the weak-minded and sell his nutritional supplements. Oh, there's a thing in there. I never saw that before. Huh. Put in another 5 minutes and then we'll call it a night. Ugh. Another non-level with a non-flag. elsewhere. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, so Alex Jones runs a website, InfoWars, which engages in conspiracy theories. He uses it primarily to enrich himself by selling bogus nutritional supplements. His conspiracy theories are harmful to the people they're about, where he attempts to convince the world that, you know, things are hoaxes and so on and so forth. That has dangerous and sometimes deadly characteristics. Well, maybe not deadly at this point, but definitely dangerous characteristics. He does so by engaging in harassment, which violates the terms of use of most of the platforms that he's on, which is why his website or his channel has been kicked off of YouTube. His pages have been closed on Facebook, but Twitter continues to allow him to post his material there, because it used to be they claimed that he hadn't violated their new policies since they were instituted. Then people pointed out that in fact he had done that, and they still let him continue to post on the website. So I don't know. It's very clear to me that there is one set of rules for Alex Jones and one set of rules for everybody else, and it's not like... What do I think this is? Back to the beginning of the level? Nope. New level. So I'm looking at this list of levels, and I thought that they were in order, but apparently they're not, because Elsewhere is a level that is earlier on my list than some of the other things here. It's the last level on my list, so clearly it's not the last level I've been to. Hills of Forever. 76. Should look at my walkthrough, really. Okay, so this is XLVI. XLVI. And the last level is... LIV. XLVI is 46. Is L 50? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's only 9 levels left. Maybe I'll try it. All right, we're gonna try. We're gonna try for the end. And we're gonna be. Hello, Cyclops Idiot. Welcome, welcome. We're just gonna brute force our way through the last 9 levels. 8 levels to go. That was that last flag I was looking for. Next will be Monsters Island. Damn. That was something, all right. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Just wanna fly my surfboard way. I believe I can float. I believe I can cross a moat. I do know King Decker. Met him at VidCon. Have been in his streams a number of times. Oh, fuck. At one point, I knew everyone who streamed on YouTube Gaming, or certainly felt like that. I'm sure I never actually did, but... not the least because a lot of them don't speak English. Which is all I speak. What's he? Need more information. Oh, just a cool dude. I don't know, about the same as he is in his streams. Alright, let's see if I can figure out a way through this. Well, thanks, Supermodel. I appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out. Have a good time. That's what it's really all about, really, in the end. Mondays and Fridays, my friend. Mondays and Fridays. Mondays are retro nights, and Fridays whatever I feel like. Yeah, there's no way I'm finishing this tonight. There's just... Even though there's only like 5 levels left. Which sucks. Got a life, man. Tomorrow night I'm running a... Tomorrow night I'm running a group for a local advocacy group for municipal broadband. Wednesday night I am taking a class on color correction using Adobe Premiere. Thursday night I am doing my documentary filmmaking class. On Friday I'm streaming. On Saturday I'm going to the anti-fascist counter-protest on Boston Common. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on. Always a lot to do. Okay. Yep, this is it. I'm done. I can't play anymore. Anyway, so yeah, so that was Kid Chameleon. We will finish up that game on next Monday, and move on from there. This Friday, I'll be playing World of Warcraft. I'll be going through the new Battle for Lordaeron, Quest for Lordaeron, and then the Battle for Azeroth that will begin tomorrow. So, if you have any interest in World of Warcraft, tune in for that. It's been lovely to have you, Super 5 Gaming, Cyclops Idiot, Brad Pritchard, Jeff Harbaugh, Gaming Lawyer, Michael the Gamer, Higlia, Jose Angel, Miss Painstakingly Played, Leif, and Karel, and many others who came by tonight. Thank you very much for the moral support. Thank you very much for the financial support. For those of you who threw in money for that Super Chat for good, I appreciate that very much. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate everyone who is being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed my little CPG rant, and I hope you have a lovely week. Again, I'll be back on Friday. Supermodel. Did I say Super 5? Supermodel is what I meant to say. Yeah, so I think there's like a button here that I can push that does a thing, but I can't find it. Never mind. Where is it? This. Oh. What? What? So there's supposed to be like a tally that I can look at to see donations, but it doesn't work in Edge? That's stupid. But yeah, $17 tonight donated to the Innocence Project. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Mwah, 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 mwah. Goodbye.